This segment sponsored by Foster Financial. It's time for another edition of Women's Wealth Wednesday with Foster Financial. And today we have a little riddle for you with Caleb Doane, their vice president. Hey there, Caleb.
Hey.
How's it going?
It's going well. How are you?
Good. Okay. Let me try to get this right. We got go-go.
Yeah, there you go.
Go-go years, slow-go years, and
no-go years.
No-go years. What in the world are those?
Yeah, great question. This might be a new concept for a lot of people. I feel like sometimes folks have heard of this before. But essentially, it's just talking about different phases in retirement. So right when you retire, oftentimes we call that your go-go years. Maybe that's 65 to 75 years old. You're probably the most active that you'll ever be in retirement just because you're the youngest, you're the most able-bodied in retirement. Maybe 75 to 85 would be more like slow go. Maybe you're traveling, but maybe you're not going international or something. And then there's the no-go years, maybe from 85 to however long retirement lasts, where you're really not traveling at all, you're probably not spending as much. And so we want to make plans for all of those different phases in retirement because it's not just kind of an even path all throughout retirement. You're going to have different periods where you're spending more and different periods where you're spending less.
Oh, wow. Okay, so people got to remember it. So I think we should do a little jingle. It should be like, go, go, slow, go, no, go, 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 go.
There you go. I like it. Yeah, we'll have to implement that.
So the distinction between the three phases, why is that important?
Yeah, it's important because, most of the time people are wanting to spend the most during those go-go years, right? A lot of times this is when they're checking items off of their bucket list. Recently with a lot of my clients, it's been an Alaska trip, a trip to Alaska. It seems I've had a whole,
That's
5 clients do trips to Alaska within the last year. It's an expensive trip, right?
Yeah.
So usually people are doing that probably between 65 and 75 in those go-go years. The thing that we have to be really cognizant of, though, is that earlier on in retirement, if you're 65 years old and you just retired, there's kind of the most amount of unknowns left in retirement, right? You still have at least 20 years left of retirement, and there's just a lot of unknowns during that time period. We don't know what your health is going to be. We don't know what stock market performance is going to be. We don't know what any random one-time expenses are going to be that pop up. And so by default, I think people want to be a little bit more conservative in those years and maybe not spend as much because they're hedging against the possibility of bad things happening later in retirement. But then at the same time, you still want to be able to accomplish some of those nice bucket list items while you're still younger and able-bodied. So we can build those things into the financial plan and say, hey, the travel budget for these first 10 years is going to be $10,000 a year. And then it's going to drop to $5,000 a year. And then it's only going to be $2,000 a year after that. So we can build in these different phases into retirement planning and maybe say that, hey, your withdrawals are actually going to be larger the first 10 years of retirement, and then they're going to slow down a little bit, and then even slow down a little bit after that. A lot of times people are thinking about maybe the 4% rule, which oftentimes people will say, hey, when you start withdrawing from your investment accounts in retirement, withdraw 4% in that first year. That might not always allow people to accomplish everything that they want in those go-go years. So maybe we're actually taking a little bit more in the beginning, and then maybe we drop it later on.
Okay, and is this about making your money work for you and stretching it and having just a solid plan, and then also setting the expectation to the client of what to expect in retirement years?
Yeah, it's about kind of managing, allowing the money to last all throughout retirement, but also allowing the client to fulfill some of those goals that they have for their retirement. A financial advisor could be extremely conservative and say, hey, you're only allowed to take out 4% every single year in retirement. But not everyone has kind of a smooth level of expenses throughout retirement. There might be higher expense years and there might be lower expense years. And so we want to make sure that the money lasts all throughout retirement. But if you have a bucket list item of going to Alaska or something, we want to make sure that you're able to do that if it fits into the financial plan. So we want to get very granular and very detailed on the financial planning piece and really try to estimate out what those different periods are going to incur as far as expenses, just to make sure that we can balance all of those priorities.
Yeah, and that's true, because I think about also a lot of people are paying the final payment on their homes, right when they're about to hit retirement. So that will be an expense that loosens up cash. So you kind of just place it and see how much your available, disposable income is and how they can use it. So I am curious though. So let's say people don't travel, they're not interested in that. What have you seen your clients do on their bucket list or kind of enjoy their retirement and spending?
Yeah, I mean, just doing a lot of local things, I think is something. So whether it might be going out to eat more, or some people, I mean, have goals of like helping their grandkids. They want to help their grandkids save for college or something like that. Or it's just kind of like spoiling their family a little bit with some of their retirement savings. So if people aren't spending it as much on travel, there's certainly other avenues for that. But usually we see a big chunk of that travel in those go-go years. Slow-go years might just be a little bit more local travel. Maybe they're downsizing their house, from 75 to 85 years old. And then in those no-go years, we got to plan for the possibility of long-term care. There's a lot of people that need nursing care at some point in retirement. And so that's another piece that we have to plan in as well.
Well, Caleb, it sounds like they're living local.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you so much for sharing about it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, guys, so we got the go-go, slow-go, no-go years. Caleb broke it all down for us. And if you would like more information, you can contact him at Foster Financial. We'll have their website and their phone number listed below, and I'll see you after the break. This segment sponsored by Foster Financial.